Hello, and welcome to The Voice of Aging. My name is Bryn Malone. I am the owner and founder of a company called Aging Solutions. And our purpose at Aging Solutions is to really help educate people and connect them with resources as they grow older, or they might have parents who are growing older and they're trying to learn really what the nuances of growing older look like and how to navigate some of those things that they might bump into. So, having said that, what we really like to do is bring in resources in the community that might be in your community, wherever you live, that can be helpful as you bump into these maybe obstacles with an aging parent or yourself as you're aging. And today I'm just really pleased to have run across recently Donnelle Cross. She is with a company called Twilight Wish. Phenomenal work. That's all I can say is what this company is putting out there for people as they're getting older, and the resources they can connect them with is truly outstanding. And in very short order, I'll put in a plug in for you here, Donnelle. She's helped me with two, and then just today at the interview, a third client of ours that might need some resources. So a little bit about Donnelle. I'll let her tell you a bit about her background and her degrees from a local university here, and then what she's kind of been up to and how she found her spot to Twilight Wish. Welcome, Donnelle.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. I went to WSU back in the day, and I graduated with social work and geriatrics. So I've always had this heart and passion for this population, and I did an internship at like an adult daycare program at the time, and
Okay.
like a long-term care facility, and so I did that, and then time just kind of happened. I worked for Nordstrom for quite a few years, which was a wonderful company to work for. And then I had kids, and life just kind of happened. And so then when my kids got a little older, I started working for the school district and worked in as a paraeducator, and was in like contained classrooms, so like the special ed department. And I really, really love that. But about 4 years ago, I just listened to my heart, and I'm like, okay, I'm getting to this certain point in my life, and this population is still holds such a special piece for me, and what can I do to work in that community? And so I just kind of started doing companion care in about four people's homes, and that led me to working into an adult family home where I got my HCA. And I just I I didn't realize that I could actually do what I'm doing. Like, I thought at this point in my life there was no way I was going to go back to school and learn all this. And so that got me back into working with the elderly. And then a couple years ago, I was actually thinking about like the Make-A-Wish Foundation and the Wishing Star that are so wonderful. And I was thinking to myself,
Great
like,
organizations.
yeah, they're wonderful organizations. And I thought, do they have anything for this population? And I I called around town. I was looking on the internet. I just couldn't find anything that did that, which baffled me because it's such a need.
It's a huge need in the population. Huge need.
Yeah. So then I was online, and I found this wonderful foundation, Twilight Wish. They've been around for over 20 years. They're mainly on the East Coast, but there wasn't a chapter anywhere near here. So I'm
Okay.
like, well, I'm going to do it. And I just took it on, and I'm actually representing the whole Pacific Northwest.
Wow.
So we've got a great group of volunteers here. We've just now got a group of volunteers in Yakima. We've had a couple events. We've been able to grant a few wishes, but we focus on low income seniors that are in need. And
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. And this is such a huge need. Earlier in my career, for example, there was a gentleman, and there's programs, energy programs out there that support people, but this gentleman, we couldn't get him qualified for an energy program, and he was heating his house with oil,
Mhm.
and he didn't have the resources to even put 50 gallons of oil and it was middle of winter, and winters up here where we are, they could be 10 degrees or 15 below. And so we were fortunate enough at Aging Solutions to get him some oil. And I was thinking,
Yeah.
where else can I turn? Because the local, like I said, he didn't qualify with the other local. So Twilight Wish, where'd the idea or the concept come from? I mean, who actually, kudos to you, first of all, for taking this on in the Pacific Northwest. But whose idea was it, or how did it grow?
It started with the founder, Cass Forkin. She was sitting at a restaurant and noticed a group of ladies paying for their food with change. And it broke her heart. And so she wound up anonymously paying for their bill, and they found out what she did and just the joy that she brought them. And it started from that.
So she just paid it forward at a restaurant.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. That's impressive.
So so they've been, I think it's about 25 years. They've been around in over 20 chapters, and they just have done some wonderful,
amazing work,
wonderful things.
What did it take to bring the chapter to the Pacific Northwest?
I was able to have a grant to be able to start the chapter, because it did take a little bit of funds to start it.
Okay.
And then it was just trying to find volunteers, and I've just been hitting the ground. I mean, it's all volunteer work. I'm just trying to get this word out in the community. We've been doing some fundraisers, because the money that we do get stays in our community, which is wonderful. Okay. And so, but I wanted the funds first, because when wishes come in, you need to have that money to be able to do that.
To grant a wish.
Yeah, and so we have that now, and we've have some fundraisers they're going to be continuous. So I feel confident that we can support the community when those needs
So you
arise.
have some founding members somewhere that are funding what's needed. And you mentioned that you were a caregiver, and you did that. Can you just, maybe for some of the people who are trying to understand all this, maybe they don't recognize somebody that might be in need, because what I found in my experience is that people who are in need may not really let anyone know that they might need something. So your experience as a caregiver, do you have any stories there where you might have seen, people who you'd like to share?
Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of stories, but I guess the one that I was in this woman's home for 3 years, and she became one of my closest friends.
Yeah.
And she was, we were able to get out into the community together. We would go downtown, and we rode the carousel together, and she's in a wheelchair. She was very limited on her speech and development, but just still so smart and so witty and so fun. And it took a while to get that relationship, but we became so close and have such great memories. And she passed away a year ago, and I'm still grieving. So it's so hard on the caregiver as well too, to have those relationships. But a lot of times it's just them knowing that there's someone there for you, and they care for you, and they have their interest, and to know that you're there for the right reasons.
You're there for the right reasons,
Yeah.
right? So you have a social work degree, which I think really plays into helping with this Twilight Wish. A lot of people maybe don't know what social workers do, and because we're really here to help educate people, can we just maybe get off topic a little bit and talk about what a social worker does, and what is gerontology also? You mentioned that you kind of had two fields of study there.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about social work?
Yeah, I mean, just from the experiences that I've had, I mean, it's really going in and understanding the client and the family, and being able to, I mean, I guess I'm just knowing from in the adult family home that I'm at, like seeing the social workers. I mean, they're there to like help I don't know, I guess delete this part.
Okay.
I don't know.
But to connect with resources in the community.
Yes, yeah, connect, and then
Yeah, okay.
I just haven't had a lot of
Yeah, that's okay.
with that.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
And how about gerontology? I've never heard, let's say people haven't heard of gerontology. I mean, it's
Yeah,
rare to run into someone.
the study, yeah, the
To,
study of getting older. And I remember, well, this was years ago when I was at WSU, but just learning about Alzheimer's and like what that is and how what and there's been so much more study since then, but
yeah,
just being able to understand maybe different things that happen as you are aging normally, and also ways that you can prevent a lot of things as well too, and how to support that.
how to
And
support it and put in some interventions.
well, and it's also like treating them with dignity and understanding where they're at in their life too,
Yeah.
and honoring that and meeting them where they are at that point in their life.
That's so important, and I think Twilight Wish probably does a great job in doing that, because you're seeing a need and you're addressing that need, and I'm sure you're doing that with dignity. I mean, we've talked a little bit about the clients that you're helping, of our clients, and just we've talked about the approach, and this one gentleman we were talking about, he's very private, and how you were going to honor that when he's the beneficiary of your generosity. So let's dive into the details, really, of Twilight Wish. What should people know about Twilight Wish? How does it work? Who qualifies? Who doesn't qualify? Those kind of details. Can you jump into that
Yeah.
for us?
So we focus on low-income seniors. The criteria is 65 years or older,
Okay.
or if they're a permanent resident of a living facility. They need to be cognitively and physically able to experience the wish. So sometimes we might need a doctor's physician's note just to
Okay.
kind of verify that. They need to be a U.S. citizen. We really try to focus on veterans as well.
Okay.
So, and we also try to we want to honor if they've done volunteer work a lot, or what they've done for the community throughout their years. But by the time they're at that point of their life, they've done that, whether they're raising kids or they're volunteering at their church or whatever that is. So but we just want to honor what they've done for the community as well.
Okay. So the takeaways are low income folks who are 65 or older, who or if I heard you right, they're in a facility, whether that's an adult family home environment, a boarding home, assisted living building. But basically, what if they're on their own home, as long as they're 65 and older,
Yep.
and okay, those other things. And then what kind of things, what kind of support? I mean, are you buying new cars for these people?
No.
Okay.
No, we really want to make sure that what they're getting is a need, or what is it going to do to enhance their life?
Okay.
So we have what's called simple wishes, and that could be somebody that's living in their home and they need a lift chair to help them, or hearing aids, just something to make their life a little more
Okay.
accessible.
Dentures, maybe?
Dentures, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Then we have what's I'm gonna make sure I get exactly what the wishes are called, but
Okay.
Celebrating a life wish. So this could be somebody that's on hospice. This is like your
Okay.
kind of your end of life wish, and that could be like maybe going to a hometown for the last time, or having a big birthday celebration with your family, whatever that looks like. And then there's the living life to the fullest, which would be like a bucket list item.
Oh.
So we had one wish that was granted on the East Coast, but it was somebody that really loved Donny Osmond, and they flew her to Vegas and she got to sing with him. So
What?
I know.
So okay, we're
Yeah.
going. We're picking up with Donny Osmond.
Donny Osmond. So yeah, she got to sing with him, and we've had a lady that wanted to pet a penguin. I mean, you just never know what
Pet a
what
penguin.
that wish is.
So how did they get to pet the
They
penguin?
did. Yeah, they did.
Took them to a zoo, or
They brought the penguin to her.
Wow.
It's like, yeah. So you never know what that's going to be, and then also veterans. We have
yeah.
special wishes for veterans
Is there
as well.
is there a maximum amount that Twilight Wish? What if somebody has to travel and a lot of money. I mean, you mentioned the gal came out to Las Vegas. Right?
Yeah, it's trying to get the funds.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's where our fundraisers and donors really, we really need them for those things because you don't know what kind of wish is going to be coming through. And
Yeah.
if that's going to be something simple or big, and we want to make sure we have that money available when it does
Yeah.
come.
It's a heavy lift.
Yeah.
Why are you doing this? I mean,
It's
a big project.
yeah. Because nobody at this point in their life should go without something basic. Life, I know, can kind of get away from you, but you live your whole life, and a lot of times you've forgotten about yourself. And why they should be honored, they should be living as comfortably and as easy as much as they can, and with dignity and love and respect, and as a community we need to honor that and give that back to them. And I feel like they're a very lost generation and hidden, and they need to be seen.
They're passed over.
Yeah.
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 How long have you been doing this, working on getting this established here in the Pacific Northwest?
2 years.
2 years. Where do you see it 5 years from now?
I hope that we've got volunteers and places all through Washington, Oregon. I mean, I probably won't be able to do it all on my own. More volunteers, more chapters, and just granting wishes all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. Like, I want it to be just a household
name, just like
yes, yeah.
for the younger
Everybody
people.
knows what. Yeah, I want this to be. I want them to have this to give them a voice. And,
Yeah.
And yeah.
Well, I can tell by your passion that this is going to take off, and
it's going
to take off.
Yeah.
I mean, the need is so large, which we addressed earlier in this video, and I really see great things ahead for Twilight Wish and yourself, and just from our perspective at Aging Solutions, just so thankful, so grateful, because you've already granted 3 wishes for us, just with our clients, and so what a blessing that is.
Yeah, thank you for what you do as well.
It's a calling, when you're working with these people, because it is they are silent, and they are silenced. And my sister told me that years ago when she walked into a restaurant, and she came in about the same time as some people who were younger, and the hostess unknowingly seated the younger people, and she said, "I just experienced ageism, and I'm 52 years old." And I think that's just a little bit more prevalent than what we want to acknowledge. And with kids living all over the place and not here, and just how the family dynamic has changed with grandparents and parents not being necessarily close to their children.
Can I share one more wish that made me think that we did?
Absolutely.
There was a lady in California, and her wish was to get mail. She doesn't have family. She doesn't have kids. She has a lot of disabilities, so she's not able to get out. And she is worried that she was being forgotten. She just wanted mail.
No Christmas cards, no birthday cards.
So we sent her stationery, stamps, thank you cards, and a lot of our volunteers and people, actually all of the Twilight Wish chapters have been participating in this, but they have just been flooding her with mail. And I think that's something to remember, especially about this generation.
Yeah.
They don't text. They want a phone call. They want a piece of mail, a handwritten letter. And it's just a different...
It's a different environment. I'm still a pen and paper kind of person, but I have been blessed to just open up, letters from clients from World War II. I mean, and they're addressed like Mary Brown, Everett, Washington. There's no street address, because back then, people just knew where the Browns lived or wherever, right?
Yeah.
And letters were such a big deal. So you get something in the mail, and do that. But with texting, like you said, and emails, and a lot of these folks, they either can't afford, iPhones or computers, and so what does that do? It isolates them, right?
Right.
And then loneliness creeps in,
Right.
and it's cascading from that standpoint. So again, that's why I think when people really understand and know about Twilight Wish and what you're doing for these people, you're going to be a little busy,
I hope
Donnelle.
so.
Oh, yeah.
TwilightWish.org.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Let's give a plug. So how do they get how do they find you?
TwilightWish.org goes to the main foundation, and then we do have an Instagram for us, and it's Twilight Wish PNW. Hold on, Twilight Wish PNW. So we have our own
your own Instagram
own deal. Yeah. So,
okay.
Yeah, and then
that's great.
There's a spot on the main website where if you choose to donate or just want to find out what's going on, you just look for our chapter.
And if people are in the Pacific Northwest, how do they volunteer to help you out?
There's application on the twilightwish.org. There's applications for volunteering and for the wish applications and to donate.
Okay.
It's all in one stop.
All in one stop.
Shopping. Yeah.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else we should know about Twilight Wish?
If spread the word. We just need to. There's so many people that need this.
Need this. Yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of times it's finding the ones that are in the home that.
Well, I think that's the message. Friends and neighbors, please. Please contact Twilight Wish if you have a neighbor that just isn't as active as they used to be, or if you're not seeing them as much, or that they could just use a little extra pick-me-up. Twilight Wish might be able to help with that.
Yeah.
So.
Can you ask her about the response from the wishers? Like what is the response and feedback?
I sure can. So we've talked a little bit about some of the wishes that were granted. What has the response from those people who's got their wish fulfilled been?
One of the wishes that we granted was a lady that her husband was a vet that had just passed away.
Okay.
And she she was disabled, and she was trying to provide for her and her son. So she was going to the food bank every couple weeks, and it was really hard on her physically, but also mentally, because she wanted to just go to a regular grocery store and be able to buy fresh fruits and vegetables.
Feel normal.
Yeah. Yeah. And so we were able to grant her a $500 gift card to Fred Meyer, which is also where she gets her medicine.
Okay.
And she was so grateful that she could just be, she felt that could get her 2 to 3 months of just being a normal person getting groceries.
And validating her as a person.
Yeah.
As a provider.
You're right. Yeah. Because her son was working 2 jobs trying to provide for them.
Make ends meet.
Yeah. So that was our one of the few wishes we've been able to grant, but we're just hoping for more.
Yeah, because you're so new, you probably haven't had a lot of those experiences.
Right.
Are there any other experiences from other chapters maybe that come to mind for you, or?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen 100-year-old birthday parties, like big celebrations. I've seen going to Pittsburgh Steeler games and
I want that
I know,
wish.
Pirates games.
Yeah.
And yeah, I know. I'm a big Mariners fan, so I'm waiting for that wish to come through so I can go with that.
So you can be the accompanying person.
Yeah, but
okay.
Just very much, just a lot of gratitude and help, and being able to things that they probably never thought they could do in their life, and their time was at that stage. And
you guys are, like you said earlier, you're seeing them as people, right?
Yeah.
And how wonderful. We all want to be seen.
Right.
Right?
Yeah. It doesn't matter how old you are.
It doesn't matter how old you are. And probably the older you are, the more you would appreciate being seen in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Okay. So that does it for this week's presentation and podcast. We're so glad, Donnelle, that you were able to join us and bring to us Twilight Wish. What a great idea. I wish I had thought of that idea. I think it's wonderful.
Yeah, thank you.
And if you'd like to learn more about Twilight Wish, they can reach out to, what's the website?
twilightwish.org, or on our Instagram, Twilight Wish PNW.
Okay. And if you want to learn more about Aging Solutions and what we do, you can find us at agingsolutionsnw.com. And you can also follow us on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. And we really appreciate you joining us for this session, and we'll see you next time. Okay? How's that?